guys, next story up. So I did listen to the Breakfast Clucking. What is wrong with me today? I did listen to the Breakfast Club interview between Puff Daddy and the host, and it was actually pretty good. I mean, you know, it wasn't nothing that we found out that was any new information. I mean, you know, but it still was entertaining enough. Diddy talked about his new song, Gotta Move On. And quite literally, he meant what he said in the song that, yeah, it's time to move on. Hell, it's about Cassie. Everybody knows that, okay? And the woman has moved on. She's gotten married and has kids. And so that he has finally said that he's got to move on as well. He talked about his new lease on love and life. He talked about Carisha being one of his best friends, how much she makes him laugh, and how she just allows him to be himself, which was actually a cute thing to hear him say. I think that that relationship with Carisha is probably the relationship that he wishes that he's been able to have throughout the time. But I think that he was with all of these women, lying to women, and you know, knowing that he wasn't gonna settle down and marry anybody, kind of wanted to have his cake and eat it too. And now he's just realized that at his big grown age, why the fuck he need to lie? First of all, he's damn near a billionaire. Okay. He's a single man. And life is good. What I need to lie for? I'm gonna tell you exactly what I'm doing. All right. And you gonna either be good with it or you not. And if you not, then I'm gonna move on to the next. Okay. But if you gonna be cool with it, then I'm gonna take care of you. All right. And I think that for the most part, the women, the mainstay, staple women that had been in his life the whole time had already understood that. But now it's in the forefront, like we see it with this relationship or this friendship that he has with Carisha. And he did say he likes her. So he's like not trying to downplay any of that. He just knows that it won't be anything more serious than them two just having fun, hanging out, talking, laughing, him buying her gifts, her accepting them. I was like, shit, that don't sound like a bad deal to me. Nigga, keep the diseases away and make sure none of these bitches get froggish. Other than that, you know, we might be okay with that. Anyway, he also talked about him trying to save R&B. And he did clarify a little bit more that he wasn't trying to shit on the new artists of R&B today, but he was more so aimed at the resources and aimed at the music labels and the people that are in charge that seem to only be gearing the music towards a dark path, and nothing about R&B music today, or not much about R&B music today, makes you want to be in love, make babies, okay? Be happy with this one person or whoever it is that you decided to be with. Like, that's what he was trying to say. I don't think that's what he was saying originally, but I think that that's what he came to when, you know, everybody came out like, how the fuck you just gonna downplay and disrespect all of these talented ass R&B singers that are out there, okay? So it was an eye-opener for him. He also talked about his kids, his love for his kids, and how that is his proudest moment. You can tell that he loves his kids. You can tell that his kids love him. He talked about his, you know, the fact that when Kim Porter died, how he was just like, how the fuck am I going to do this all on my own? Okay, because, you know, he had raised Al B. Sure's son, Quincy. Justin was older, and Christian, I guess, was going to be the, you know, the younger of the older kids. And then he had, well, he said 6 people. Am I missing somebody? Oh, yeah. Justin was the first one, and Al B. Sure's son, I don't know who's the older of them. I guess maybe Quincy is the older of the two, which is also Kim Porter's son. So that's how Diddy came into, you know, but choosing to help raise him. And Christian was the older of the kids. Okay. And then he had the twins, Delilah, and what was the other one's name? And then, of course, the other daughter, Chance. Okay. So he was just like, how the fuck am I going to raise all these kids without Kim there to help? Apparently, Kim held a lot of the behind the scenes together. And I still can't believe that that girl died. Like, it's just the strangest, craziest story. I know they said she died from pneumonia, and I see, you know, I don't know what to say about that, but you know, he was very truthful, and him saying that him and Kim had talked about getting married, and it was, even though I think that that was something that she wanted at one time, I think maybe she might have realized eventually that this ain't the nigga to marry, okay? And let me just live my life, be with him, you know, be his friend or whatever they were, and help raise these kids and all of that. And he, you know, in return, he took care of her, took care of Chance's mother, I'm assuming. You know, there's been some stories about Misa and the shit that's gone on between the two of them, but he said that his proudest moment is definitely his kids. And I love the fact that he includes all of his kids and Quincy in that, because he definitely considers Quincy as his child, okay? And we know that Al still is a little salty about that, but that's neither here nor there. He also talked about Mace, and he wanted to make sure that he made it clear that he has never stolen from any of his artists. He said nobody can bring a receipt that said that he has. He said it's more so a fact that people be in contracts, and when they aren't happy with the contract, when they want to get out of the contract, when the contract rolls out, is done and finished, then people are unhappy. People tend to believe that they should be given more money. You know, he was just like, it's just been a agenda or a narrative that has been put out about him over the years that he doesn't like to speak on, but he's tired of people just making it seem like he's been stealing from people. He said he hates a thief. Now listen, I'm just telling y'all what Puffy said. Okay, so don't get in the comments cussing me out about what the niggas say. I'm just the messenger. Okay, but he said that he has not stolen, and he actually is going to possibly present. I was like, maybe you don't want to do that, Puffy, but he was saying that they were going to do a piece, like a show, talking about all of these artists that claim that he's stolen from them, and then they can kind of like go over the books together. Okay, and he said that, you know, he's not saying that he's perfect, and some shit has slipped through the cracks, but on a grand scale, he ain't stole from no damn body. Okay, when it came to Mace, he said, I don't even understand why Mace is still bringing up the fact that I owe him money, other than he just likes to say it to get attention, because he was like, I did one album with Mace, okay, made buku money off of that album. Everybody was satisfied. He said, I advanced him $3 million for a second album. He didn't do it. Okay, decided that he wanted to be a pastor, a fake pastor. Okay, went over there and did that, stole money from his parishioners and from the people that were supporting him, decided he wanted to come back to rap, you know, and now he's with this bullshit. Now they're saying that Mace is stolen money from his artists. Well, he had the 5EO boy, the 5EO foreign, was that his? Don't get me to lying, I could be wrong, but one of these rappers that's out right now, I think it is 5EO, that's saying that Mace stole from him in quite the same fashion that Mace is saying that Puffy, you know, stole from him. So is it a matter of, you know, history repeating itself, or is Mace now realizing that 5EO feels the way he feels about Mace because you know, Mace might not have done anything wrong, but 5EO feels away the same way that Mace felt about, like, what is the situation there, okay? But Puffy was just like, I don't owe him nothing. As a matter of fact, he owes me money, okay? And everybody knows that he was supposed to do the album. He didn't do it. I gracefully let him, not let, but I guess you can say let, because they had a contract, I'm assuming. But I gracefully, he said that he wanted to go and pursue this thing with the Lord. And so he did, and, you know, now he still want to besmirchify, shout out to Don King, Puffy's name. He also talked about Carisha winning the, listen, let me tell you guys also on my BET Award review when I was talking about Drink Champs, Carisha Please should have won. Many of you guys got in the comments like, oh no, Roxanne, Drink Champs is the one that should have won. And after I thought about it, I was like, you're absolutely right. They have been working hard at it, and they needed to be awarded their flowers. So I did speak in turn. Like, I didn't speak correctly. Okay, a bitch that don't listen to podcasts trying to tell you guys that Carisha should have won. Yeah, maybe she shouldn't have won. And so I was like, on further thought, maybe they gave it to Carisha so that what the boy name is, Christian, can come and perform Can't Stop, Won't Stop. Okay, maybe it was a deal. All right, otherwise they wouldn't have had him, even though that boy ain't did nothing but dance. But honey, that's neither here nor there. Anyway, it was a good interview, entertaining. Puffy always is. I think that he's always, Love. He's had so many names. That's his new name he's going by now. And I always enjoy listening to him talk. So that was the conversation on Breakfast Club. Did you guys listen to it? What did you get from it? All right, you guys, next story up. So somebody was like, talk about Coach Scammy and her low vibration plates when I asked you guys for subjects for this top of the blogs. I was like, who the fuck is Coach Scammy? What is this low vibration plate? Like, I need you guys sometimes to talk in English to me. Okay, because I don't be knowing what the fuck y'all talking about. And so I was just like, who is that? Like, what are you guys even saying? And they came back and said, okay, this is Coach Stormy. She's the one that owns NutriBurst, okay? And NutriBurst, I know of the company because I know that they got very popular right around the time the pandemic started, because remember, we were all super fucking stressed out and nervous and scared about our immunity system. All they was talking about on the news was the fact that COVID attacks those that have weak immune systems, that you wanted to make sure that you beefed up your immune system. You need to take your vitamins. You needed to do this. You needed to do that. Okay. And NutriBurst was one of those supplemental companies that was able to, really hop on that train and super expand, because now all of a sudden we wanted a damn gummy or some sort of drink or something that was going to help our immune system. And apparently NutriBurst is liquid vitamins or vitamins that are in a gummy that are supposed to supplement our immune system and make it stronger and all of that, okay? And I know that it is one of those multi-level marketing companies, the direct sales thing where people, as you sell more and more of the product, they allow people to sign up on the program and sell the product, and as they sell more and more money, they rise up, very much in the same like a Mary Kay, Avon, all of the different multi-level companies that are out there. Okay, I don't think Stormy is the owner of the company, because I read that the company came out in 1999. Okay. And she would have been 19, because I think she was born like in 1980 or something. So I don't think that it's her company, but she is definitely like a high up in the company, or maybe she could have bought it and took it over. I don't know the ins and outs of it. I did not check. Okay. But Stormy is a who's who in the NutriBurst company. Okay. How's that for those of you guys who get upset and say that I don't research my topics? So anyway, Coach Stormy, mama named her Stormy Wellington, I suppose. She is a lifestyle coach, I'm assuming. They say that she is from Atlanta. I don't know this woman from a can of paint, so I can't make an assumption on whether or not she is or is not a person to listen to. But it seems like she has an audience that either totally believe in the things that she's saying, or the other half that think that she's a scam artist. Okay. What I will say is that there are a lot of people in Atlanta and other places as well, but Atlanta seems to have quite a few people who like to label themselves as lifestyle coaches or business entrepreneurs who want to have all of these dinners and these different get-togethers where you buy tickets and they tell you how to master the game the way that they have. Okay, a lot of them leaving out the fact that they got drug dealer boyfriends that's funding them. They out here traveling and living their best life, and we don't know exactly what the behind the scenes are. They've come up, people say they've scammed folks, lied to folks, like I said, have money coming in from other places that we may not know of. I mean, a lot of that goes on in Atlanta. So there's something to remember. Not saying that that's what Stormy is doing. I'm just telling you guys that that is part of this whole Atlanta business entrepreneur lifestyle coach shit. All that being said, apparently Stormy Wellington has made quite the life for herself. And a lot of people respect and listen to her as a life coach. Now, apparently she and one of her mentees, 34-year-old Tammy Price, was at a cookout recently. And somebody was recording them on video as they sat next to each other, knee to knee. They both had a plate of food in their hands. And you know, it's a cookout, it's a barbecue. So it's your regular cookout barbecue food. It's, you know, hot dogs, hamburgers, you know, links, you know, beans, the shit that you eat at a damn barbecue, right? And Stormy, Coach Stormy, looked over at her plate in disgust and said, "I would never eat a plate that looks like that. Nobody could pay me even $1 million to eat a plate that looks like that. I deserve better. That plate is low vibration." Okay, you look at my plate. My plate says royalty. Your plate says hood rat. Okay? Now again, we at a fucking cookout. How much royalty we gonna have at a fucking cookout? What do you eat at a cookout? You eat hot dogs and hamburgers, and you know, sometimes people like to spruce it up. You might have some damn shrimp and seafood kebabs out there and potato salad, and you know, but bitch, we at a fucking cookout. Like what is this supposed to happen here? Okay? What really Coach Stormy, I think, was just disgusted at the fact that her friend and her mentee, Tammy Price, had a plate that was just, you know, it had a pile of food on there. I think that Coach Stormy was disgusted that she was eating so much. But instead of saying like, damn, bitch, you had to get all that food, she tells her that the plate is low vibration. Excuse me. And then to make matters worse, Tammy Price then be like, bitch, you eating the same thing as me. She instead said, "Coach Stormy is teaching me, don't accept what they put on your plate. I would rather be a rich student than a broke friend. I learned so much from my coach yesterday. Humility is the key here. At Coach Stormy, perspective is everything." And just like Brittany said, Bondi, it's just like Bondi said the other day, it's giving her pimp trick vibes, okay? Because you are so blinded by this mentor-mentee relationship that you don't realize that you are being talked down to. Now listen, there is many ways that you can mentor somebody. I've always been of the way of thinking that in order to correctly mentor somebody, that you lift them up, okay? I ain't never liked a snob. I've told you guys that many a times. I don't like anybody that feels like they have to put you down in order to lift themselves up and make themselves look better. I feel like I am just as good as any fucking rich person out there, and that the only difference in me and you is the opportunities, the circumstances, where we are in our life. But just because you might be rich does not make you better, okay? And that's the part of social media that can be so upsetting, is that people are truly blinded by people like, you know, Coach Stormy, who, you know, other than them being able to be in the right place at the right time and probably worked hard to get to where they are, you know, you have put them on such a pedestal that you don't realize that a motherfucker is talking down to you, that she might as well have just said you a fucking hood rat and you greedy ass bitch is sitting up here with that big ass plate of food. Like, really? No. It's not okay. And I feel sorry for Miss Tammy Price, who at 34 fucking years old don't know better. If she would have been 20, I would have been like, okay, she's still young. But baby, at 34, you done seen pieces of the game by now. Okay? And can't no bitch be telling me that my plate is hood rat and I'm low vibration and all of this shit, and you eating the same shit. The only thing that was different is that Stormy didn't have as much as the girl, and she didn't have like bread, so she didn't have buns, but she still had meat and stuff on her plate too. So I was just like, what are you talking about? Okay. And it's just sad that people listen to folks like that just because she's rich and she's at the higher up in the company. Like, that is, you gonna ignore all of the disrespect that this woman just said to you. You know, oh, I'll never eat anything like that. I mean, you can eat it, I'm not, it's just sort of like, it's later for that. I don't like that. I don't like them kind of people. And that's why Coach Stormy has never been on my radar. I didn't even know who she was, because I purposely do not involve them kind of people in my life. I just don't. Like, so I don't, and I wouldn't even have reported on this story if you guys hadn't asked for it, because I would have just read that and just been like, this is stupid. Like, girl, you need to know better than that. Okay. Well, but when people think like that, when a Tammy Price thinks the way that she does, I just be like, girl, eventually you gonna realize, okay, that you done sat up here and became a damn, what's the word that I want to use? That Stormy has made you look silly out there on the internet, and then you helped her out by co-signing her putting you down. No. Tremendous respect for, I guess, what Miss Wellington has been able to achieve in her NutriBurst life, okay? Because a lot of people do believe in the program and all of that, but it's many, many ways to uplift people. And as a coach, you know, they say that you're supposed to tear them down and then you're supposed to build them back up. But tearing down especially can't include doing that in out there for everybody to see and embarrass you and things like that. Like, no. Now, I want everybody to do better. Because if you're going to look up to somebody, look up to a motherfucker that's trying to help you and not trying to make themselves look better. Okay, I'm going to get off my soapbox because I feel like I've been doing it a little bit in this video, and I don't like to be that way either. Okay, because a nigga ain't perfect. But I ain't like that. You deserve better. And not a better plate of food, but a better friend, a better coach.